Hello, I'm Vivian McGrath from vivianmcgrath.com, and in this video I'm going to be talking about letting go of someone you love, because a lot of people have been asking me this. How do you let go of someone you love, because it is so painful? I know that pain so well. I remember I left a violent man who I almost lost my life to, and I had a very, very young child, little toddler of about 1 year old. And I was in this place that I'd moved to, and it was tiny and it represented my freedom. And I knew I had to leave this relationship if I was going to start a new life and the best life for my child. But it didn't stop it hurting. I remember just sobbing. My child was in bed and is asleep, and I was just sobbing and sobbing and sobbing, and I was thinking, why is this so painful? And why do I still love him so much? A man that abused me, hurt me, I still loved him so desperately. I wanted to be a family. I wanted him to be a father to my son, and it really hurt to the depths of my soul. The pain in my gut, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. It really was painful. So I know what it's like to let go of somebody you love, even if you know in your head that that person isn't right for you. I'll tell you how I did it. It might not be right for you, but this is how I let go of someone I love. And that this might not apply in your life to just a relationship, because I've also done a video about emotionally immature parents, and hundreds of you have written to me to say that they've had to let go of a parent that they love, and that is extremely painful as well. I've also talked about letting go of toxic friendships. So this could be about anyone you love. Letting go can be really, really painful, whether it's a family member, a relationship, or a friend. I had to cut contact. It was the only way for me, because for me, that love was a drug. I was in a relationship that I was codependent. I was addicted to that love. I just wanted the high of the person that I got, who was the most wonderful, charming, love-bombing person in the beginning of that relationship. And I just wanted that back so badly, because in the end, my self-worth was tied up with that relationship and that person, which it shouldn't be. It's not healthy. But it was. My sense of self-worth and self-esteem was so tied up that I needed him to get that self-worth back again. And so I had to cut contact. Like a drug addict, I had to cut contact from the drug that was harmful to me. That's what toxic relationships are about. If they're harmful, you need to, if you can, cut contact. And the next thing, which was unbelievably hard, was I had to be still with that pain and those painful feelings. The most dangerous thing you can do when you are trying to leave someone you love and it hurts, the reason you go back is because if you go back to that drug, you'll feel good about yourself again if your self-worth is tied up with that. So you go back. You avoid that pain. You don't want to feel that pain. It hurts so much. You go back to them. Or you do other avoidance distraction techniques, like you overeat. You turn to drugs. You turn to alcohol. You go into another relationship very, very quickly to make you feel better about the pain of the last relationship. But chances are you're going to a relationship with somebody else who's equally no good for you, because if your self-worth depends on another person, you're going to choose the wrong type of person. who is going to treat you as unworthy, unlovable, because you don't think you're worthy or lovable yourself. Be still. Feel those painful feelings. It makes me cry going back to feeling how painful that felt. I've never felt pain like it. It was right down to my stomach. My stomach churned. I couldn't eat. I felt so physically sick. But I somehow knew that I had to feel those feelings if I was going to conquer them, if I was going to heal, if I was going to change my life and become a different person. Think of it in a way as grieving. You go through these stages, and when you're grieving the loss of somebody who, for example, has died, you have no choice. They're not in your life anymore. So you have to go through those painful feelings if you don't avoid them by numbing yourself with alcohol or whatever. It feels like you're in the darkest tunnel of pain and that fog of pain. And I was in that fog of pain for weeks, if not months. But I promise you this, if you have the courage to let those feelings wash over you, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, if that's all you can cope with, you are walking towards the light. If you let them fester within, they're just going to be there suppressed internally, and they'll come out in other ways some later, as addictions, as cancer, who knows, whatever. It's going to eat away at you inside. Let those feelings come out and understand it's like grieving, and it takes time. Time is your best healer. Time is your best friend. Stop fantasizing. What you think and believe and remember is the fantasy in your head about what might have been, what could be, if only you do this, that, and the other to change you. Changing external things, rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic is not going to stop that Titanic sinking. Don't waste your time trying to just change external things. You have to change internally from within. So don't fantasize of, don't cling to that fantasy. Write a list if you need to of the reasons you left that relationship, the reasons you have to break away from that toxic friend or that family member. Write the reasons down. Stick it on the fridge if you have to. Those reasons still stand. Sorry. Those reasons still stand. Don't let a fantasy lower your resolve. Stay resilient. Stay strong. Because the pain will lessen if you have the courage to face it. Try to practice, if you can, forgiveness. Now, if you've been through extreme situations that are very, very difficult to forgive, then you may not be able to. But try, if you can, to forgive the other person. Understand that their behavior, the way they treated you or the way they are, that is their problem. That is their issue. It is not a reflection on you. You are not to blame. So if you can't forgive them and say, I forgive that you are completely damaged and that is your journey and your issue, but I can't be a part of it, then at least separate yourself and know that you are not to blame for it. They need to be accountable for their own actions. You're not responsible for them. So forgive if you can, or at least let go of blame. Because if you can't, and you're internalizing that shame or blame, then you're only hurting and harming yourself further. In a way, you're still connected to them, and you're still allowing them to have power over you. So let them go. Forgive them if you can. And know that you are not to blame. And also understand that there's no shame in getting self-support and help. I needed that. Get support and help wherever and whoever from you need it. Because it's very, very, very hard to do this alone. Dealing with that pain alone is really, really hard. And having guidance and support from somebody especially who's been through what you've been through and can mentor you and guide you and say, these are the steps that I took, which is what I'm trying to do for you now. These are the steps that I took. I know your pain. I know your shame. I know how much you're hurting. And then focus on you. Go back to you. You can't control anyone or anything outside of you. You can keep trying to change external events and people around you to fix your internal problems. But that's not going to work. What you need to do is let all those go and look inwardly at yourself. Ask yourself, who am I? What do I want to be? Who do I want to be? What do I want in my life? Who around me will enhance me, support me? Who are toxic and not helping me that I need to let go of? And try to find an intrinsic sense of value and self-worth. I've done a long video on that, and I'll put that link in the comments below. And then go out and live. Go out and live. It might be really hard at first, but try, instead of wallowing in a victim mentality, focusing on them and why did they do this? What could I have done? What if? Why did I, all that negative, energy wasting stuff. Go out and live and just say to yourself, what can I do today that helps me build my self-esteem and my self-worth? What's one nice thing that I can do for myself today if that's all I can manage? Then go out, ring a friend that you trust and you really love and who loves you, and say, I need a cup of coffee today. Do you have half an hour to come and just talk? Force yourself to get up off the floor and take that step to go out and have a walk on the beach. Go for a swim in the surf. Just something that can make you feel good. There's something to be said about doing things that really feel great. Go and get the sun on your face. It's really hard to let go of someone you love. But sometimes in your life you have no choice and you have to. So I hope these steps are helpful to you. This is what I did. And the more I focused on me, the more I cut off from that toxicity, the more I just kept those reasons in my head that they still stood. And every time I just wanted to go back to numb the pain, I thought, well, if I go back, then I know I'm just going to be hurt again. I know that's going to not make me happy. And I'm then going to have to go back through all this pain again. So I might as well just start today, one day at a time, facing that pain, facing those feelings that came flooding out of me, of anger, pain, loneliness, thinking I was never going to find love again, all that. and understood that I just had to feel them, let them wash over me. Because you know what? When I did that, the power to hurt me became less and less. And the more I started to let go of focusing on them and the what ifs and focus on me and building my self-esteem and sense of self-worth, the more everything just became okay. And the more I surrounded myself with people who cared and loved me and leaned into them for support, the easier it got. And with time, I started just taking one step at a time towards love and towards the light. And it came. You can choose to walk away and have courage and find that strength. You will have strength that you never even knew was there when you stay brave and find the courage. You know, the difference between bravery and courage. You were brave to make that decision. Now find the courage to stick with it and keep going one step towards the life that's waiting for you. The life full of love, happiness, and joy. Head towards that joy because it's there waiting for you. I hope that has helped, and I know a lot of you have been asking me that question. So thank you, and keep asking me those questions, because I want to do videos that really answer your burning pains, because your pains are mine. I've been through what you've been through. So please do subscribe for more videos like this one. Click the like button if that helped, and share, because I really want to spread my message to as many people as I can. Thanks so much for all your support, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye for now.